Facts Church. When you look above, get the inspiration for that brotherly love. Facts Church.
If you don't believe that this is really important, and I think you should, bear in mind, remember, things can change. First of all, atheists you should recognize because it influences our lives right now. We can't get elected to public office, as you just heard. Many atheists refuse to even divulge their religious opinions in social intercourse because they know that if they do, they're going to lose business. They're going to lose friends. They'll be socially turned into pariahs many times. I personally have lost jobs. People have told me, no, they're not going to hire you because of your atheism. That's pretty horrible. Now, I can't get, well, never mind. I won't go into the ramifications in terms of the EEOC here. But this is a real problem. And those of you who aren't atheists and think that, well, it doesn't bother you, remember what Madison said. Okay? Who does not see that the same authority which can establish Christianity in exclusion of all other religions may establish with the same ease any particular sect of Christians in exclusion of all other sects? In other words, it can happen to you. Because in the future, you never know what's going to happen. Remember, in Rome, 2,000 years ago, it was kind of like atheists at the time for Christians. Only 2 or 3% of the population believed in Jesus back then. Now it's 90-something% in Rome. Same thing could happen here. So everybody should be concerned about this problem where government is sending this message that there's a second-class group, and certainly we as atheists should be concerned about that. And if you don't think this is a real problem, if you think I'm making this up, let me tell you a story. This is a story about a man called Władysław Płowatzki. He was born in 1929 in Poland. When he was 10 years old in 1939, the Nazis invaded Poland, and Władysław Płowatzki was Jewish. His family was placed in a ghetto, and he says that the ghetto was worse than the concentration camps. He lost about half of his family. In the ghetto, there was no food, disease was rampant, and he lost, he says, about 60 of the 120 members of his extended family that were all put together. It was a horrible thing to see your family every day and watch them die of disease and starvation. Eventually, they were moved to a concentration camp. He believes his mother had been parsing out her meager rations to him and his brother so that they were eating more than she was, and she was very weak when she was taken to the concentration camp. So weak that the Nazis gassed her upon her arrival. The men were, however, taken out and made to work. Władysław Płowatzki, a young child, 12 or so at the time, watched as his father finally got angry at one of the commandants, the Nazis. They hit him and beat him to death with a shovel in front of his very eyes. Eventually, he was moved into Dachau, and he was there when the Allies raided it, and he escaped. He was rescued by some Americans. And he thought the Americans were pretty cool, decided he would go over to America, and he eventually made his way there. And he enlisted in the Air Force, serving for 4 years during the Korean War. After that, he decided that America was a pretty good nation, and he wanted to be a citizen, and he did all that he needed to do to become a citizen of the United States of America. And when he went to apply for his citizenship, he looked at the oath. And our oath of office for people who want to become citizens ends, "So help me God." I think we can all understand how somebody who had been through what Władysław Płowatzki had been through would choose not to believe in God. So he said, I cannot in good conscience sign this thing that says, "So help me God, I don't believe in God." And he spoke to the INS officer. The INS officer said, well, no big deal. We'll just talk to the judge. I'm sure it'll be okay. And they had made plans so that the judge would kind of isolated and off to the side, would talk to Mr. Płowatzki, who's now had changed his name to Walter Płowatzki. And he would be able to talk to him and explain this, and the judge would maybe have a separate ceremony or something so that he wouldn't be castigated and turned into a spectacle in front of his fellow citizens or new citizens. The judge, J. Frank McLaughlin, didn't believe that. He didn't think that was the appropriate way to deal with this. Judge McLaughlin had Walter Płowatzki stand in front of everybody when he heard about this. And he said, Mr. Płowatzki, that this is a nation founded on God. Do you have any coins in your pocket? And Walter Płowatzki took out a coin. Judge McLaughlin, this is a federal district court judge, the presiding judge actually. This was in Hawaii at the time. And Judge Płowatzki said, well, wait a second, what's it say on that coin? Judge McLaughlin. And Walter Płowatzki looked at it and said, the United States of America. Judge McLaughlin said, no, not that. What's it say on there? And Walter said, liberty. And Judge McLaughlin said, no, not that. What's it say on there? He said, in God we trust. He said, yes, that's right. This nation trusts in God. And we should all support that belief in God if you want to be a member of this nation. He says that to affirm by nothing what you want to do, you want to just say that you are going to take this oath, but not do it in the name of God. To affirm by nothing is that you are saying the truth. It comes out to be nothing under the law. You need to affirm under God. And Plawasky couldn't do that. And Judge McLaughlin denied his citizenship. Incredible. A federal district judge in the United States of America denied citizenship to a person because he didn't adhere to Judge McLaughlin's religious belief system. Incredible. The case eventually made it to the Ninth Circuit. It was thrown out, and Plawasky did become a citizen. But you can see, if this can happen with a federal district court judge, think of what it could happen to populations at large, to the general populace here in America. And I can tell you personally, there are many, many letters I get constantly with people saying, if you don't like it here, leave. What is this, if I don't like it here, leave? I do like it here. I like the idea that all people are treated equally, especially me. I want to be treated equally, as all of us do. And so I hope you all recognize that this is an important concept, and you all fight for this principle of equality for everybody, but certainly for ourselves. We should fight for this. Atheists are not second-class citizens, or should not be. And we need to fight to make sure that we maintain our position as full citizens, just like anyone else under this Constitution and in our society. Now, we will be having some free thought drink. We'll have some further discussion. And as always, let us end with a song, this time dedicated to Władysław Pławacki, or Walter Plawasky, or as we call it, the Grand Pławacki.
Now this ditty's ending and our voices are maybe slightly cracky, but together it's clear that we can go far. So each back let's smacky, cause a skeptic's mind is one that leads to flight. Dressed in facts, garb khaki, we question, we're honest, and we do what's right. And we're each a Grand Pławacki. We question, we're honest, and we do what's right. And we're each a Grand Pławacki.